this is not going to go well.
I know he kills his friend.
I haven't seen like this level of pristine
I think he must tell the truth, otherwise how did he know about all that?
cinematography, just cinema in general. This is probably Band of Brothers when it comes to period pieces.
Oh, gotcha.
For a series.
I never finished that. Is it really good?
Oh, it's really good. It's a tough watch. It's really good.
Everlasting Memory.
There was like 5 or 6 different times.
I think it's a
Dedicated to all
had it right here, so it's blocking.
Oh yeah, so again, I'm not kind of watching comments while we see the show because I can't
at some point.
see it at the same time as the show. Which says what time is Eternal Memory? Thank you, Katie. Yeah, she did say that earlier. My bad. Eternal Memory.
Got all this progress.
Every time I've seen this,
This has to be before it happened.
comparisons of what really happened.
It has to be. Look at
Yeah,
all
because
this.
everybody's there, right?
Flashback of happier times when I was watching more people than I could see in 5 minutes. Rip my heart out of my chest.
Why are we starting off with all these cherry happy kids in this beautiful place? I'm worried.
I feel like they were the workers.
Yeah. Yeah, he was one of
Sweet.
the
Oh, that was the guy. They sent
We can't have anything nice.
Life carrying on, right?
That guy was one of the guys.
One of the engineers, the day shift engineers.
That guy was like washing his armpits in the pool of water.
Nice picture.
Right, it was right up what I saw in the band.
Yeah.
Yeah, what?
This is all
Wait, is this before
Chernobyl.
the event?
Yes.
There she is.
This is before the event, isn't it? This is
How does she find the string?
That's what I thought it was. I saw the fire there. I got myself
Poor,
prepared.
poor
back
woman.
using the shooting
Oh
and
my
she's
god,
not-
how can she
Or
smile
is it
and
a
laugh?
fantasy? A baby.
probably dead. It was such a cute
Yeah, but it was his friend's baby, right?
Oh, that's
He remember?
Oh, that's
They had
right.
a friend that had a
Oh, we're
kid.
going back through it. I see what's going on here. We're going back through it.
Oh, damn. Wow, we went back. So we can jump ahead to his testimony.
He just
and
has like
on the day
a
of the
villainous
accident.
look to him, doesn't he?
Looks like an asshole.
Does he like redeem himself in the
Like
end? Does he-
I was trying to remember. I saw the names, but I get confused so much.
Yes.
Like it's not very strange names. We don't have
I would
them.
up with him.
The first one, yes, but
Sorry, baby.
the surnames are completely
Okay,
strange.
normally I don't like this.
Hey, they
We
might
already
come
have
up
so
with
much to
Carla.
handle, and then we're gonna jump backwards. But I don't mind it
This
because
little problem we have
see
with the
this.
safety test,
okay. So they're mentioning the
if
safety
it's
test.
completed successfully, yes, I think promotion's very likely. Who knows, maybe Moscow. Naturally, they'll put me in charge once he's gone, and then I'll need someone to take my old job.
No, they're already talking about
I could pitch Sitnikov.
promotions and successes.
I don't think anybody's getting a promotion.
I would like to be considered.
Going for no.
We'll keep that in mind.
skills for
Except for troubles. Preparations for the test have gone smoothly.
This guy.
Power up the Ardlops been working per my instructions, and reactor 4 output's been reduced to 1600 megawatts. With your approval, we're ready to continue lowering power
You
to...
have to wait.
Are
Are you going to ask me if there's a problem, Nikolai? You can't read a fucking face. 3 years I've tried to finish this test. 3 years.
They've been trying to do this test for 3 years.
Why so long?
I've just had a call from the grid controller in Kiev. He says we can't lower power any further, not for another 10 hours.
the grid controller? What does he get off
It's not the grid controller's decision, 𝙁, It's the end of the month. All the productivity quotas. Everyone's working overtime, the factories need power, someone's pushing down from above. Not that we'll ever know who.
Oh God, the red
It's
tape.
all coming
Oh,
together,
God.
right? All the conditions that led to the event.
So do we have to scrap it or what?
No, I don't think so. Now, if we need to wait 10 hours, we wait.
I'm running half power, we're not going to have stability issues.
Oh yeah, you will.
I should
I'm
think...
not asking you.
He does
It's safe.
No,
We'll
it's not.
maintain at 1600, I'll go home, get some sleep, come back tonight. We'll proceed then. I'll personally supervise the test. And it will be completed.
Oh, it'll be completed, all right.
Reactor?
Well, I'm not waiting around.
apparently.
Call me when it's done.
So it's regardless of.
Oh, we'll call you when it's done.
This guy.
Middle of the night.
Check if she can make more energy.
And the previous conversation
You have to wait because now they have to produce more energy.
I'm trying to redecorate the room already.
See his thought process.
Okay, but they need to make this test. What if
Just thinking about that promotion.
Trying to do this test for 3 years. They haven't successfully completed it.
I mean, assume hopefully bad thing.
And I guess we got it back up.
It's
an interesting opening though.
Like you're not really.
So I kind of just like that
You forget about the
the
danger.
goes way further up the line.
You become complacent.
3 years later now.
Almost a full year later.
April 86.
I'm not saying that wanting to
Have they covered it yet?
advance wanting to have a higher position and everything.
But
Is
it's
bad.
interesting to watch.
Did they get it covered?
But when you're working with something so dangerous,
lives and
you gotta,
you know, like
think about the entire
how it led to this, how could it be prevented?
Position.
Zero
Think about it. So
transparency.
there's a disaster, maybe, you know?
Could you be more obviously KGB?
Okay.
What if he's CIA?
Yeah. Like the main streets.
Looks
probably.
like it. Stash. Not that I would know, but you know, like most people have stashes that are in.
How do you feel?
Okay.
Oh, it's KGB. Sorry. Deputy.
Went to the doctor yesterday. How is your health?
So that's in the.
I don't know.
I love it when they're.
That was the
Vienna.
Tell me, I want to know.
Yeah.
We jumped forward again?
It says, at last a Soviet scientist who tells the truth. Obviously, I
Did he
resent the
already-
insinuation, but I think it's fair to say you made an excellent impression at the
Oh,
conference.
this is after the
Turns
conference.
out you're quite good at
Vienna.
this.
Oh, he did tell the truth.
Lying. Statecraft regards
lied?
statecraft. The West
Did he lie?
is now satisfied
He
that
lied and
Chernobyl
the
was
West
solely
is...
the result
Oh.
of operator error, which it essentially was. They have you to thank
Essentially.
for that.
Oh, he
Did lie?
He did what
I
Boris
like how
told
you
him.
put your lying.
But it sounds like he told the people thought he told the truth.
The Soviet Union.
Quite
Oh, good.
Our highest honor.
I'm sure that makes
They
it
haven't even given it to me.
Promotion to director of the Kurchatov Institute.
Mouth shut, they're giving it.
When they said he told
he
the
kinda
truth,
is,
I was like,
isn't it?
it's gonna be a
There's
hug
anything
or a
humble
bullet. You
about
never know
you,
this
Valery
group.
Alexeyevich. These rewards are not yours yet.
Oh,
First,
really?
your testimony. at the
There
trial.
we
Comrade
go.
Charcoal.
See, I knew I was talking to. I was like,
duty to the
what?
state.
Says not had the trial.
You gave
Now,
us assurances.
now it's making more sense.
The reactors would be made safe. It's been months. No changes have been made. No changes even discussed.
First,
Really?
the trial.
Because you should
Jesus
have
Christ.
killed Vienna. They probably would have killed
They
him.
can just avoid
Our
another
hero.
incident
We will have our truth.
by wishful thinking?
Your
After
truth,
that,
not
we
their
can deal
truth.
with our reactors.
Angry.
So let's just risk another Chernobyl.
Reactors are a time bomb, man.
But
It's
it's
just a matter of time. Something goes
He
wrong.
went with the
like
gut as
the
they said.
problem with RBMK.
No, it's true.
They just think they have power
Real
and
lies
science
I
and
should change the email doctor's name.
The fact that he kills
She was
himself
right.
running the
reactors.
after,
Come out with
you
a
know,
joke.
reducing
She might have been
Well,
assassin.
you
recording
just
everything.
spin
You know
it,
what I
then
think
it's
too is that this
Probably
now
never
is
went
the
like,
opening of
they
the
never
series.
Probably
changed
definitely.
You know, it's
safety
giving more
measures
context
they
for
were
that.
supposed to change. They never
When
did
we saw him
improvement on the
recording his
plans.
tapes. The scientist who tells the truth.
Oh, is his hair falling out? Sign of the
But in the
radiation.
cancer, the hair falls
Hey, I've been having some hair loss
from the
lately.
chemotherapy.
That's not good.
Doesn't fall by
Am I exposed to radiation?
No, the
You
hair
wouldn't even be able to enjoy those spoils.
Like you
Right.
remember you're dying anyways.
Each time is
Well,
running
that's
out.
why the whole 800 rubles thing is a big joke. It's like that's sold the guy in charge. Like, I wish you a long life.
And I really do like how we
Like
jumped
not
in time.
therapy,
When,
for example.
obviously, this episode from a storytelling perspective, I liked how we started off going back, and then now we jumped ahead.
Outwardly jump on my heart.
On top of all that,
You don't have to worry about taking those reactors from the plug and sit down and talk about it.
Yeah. I don't know if it's an ashtray or a.
Did you take a train?
Yes, I took a train. Now let's talk about Vienna.
She's like, I love.
I'm not here to scold you. I know how the world works, despite what Chernobyl says.
So, why are you here?
Because I'm brutally stubborn, which you were hoping for.
I like her. I like them. I think he's a good man.
Chokov is saying they're going to fix the reactors after the trial.
I do not trust that.
Yeah, they're gonna
Do you
break
believe him?
people still running as normal.
The KGB guy, not this guy. No.
The state will never willingly fix the reactors because acknowledging the problem means admitting that they lied. They will have to be forced.
Which is why you should have just said something
I
in
think
Vienna.
so too. He has to tell the truth.
At the trial, you're going to tell the truth.
Oh, at the trial.
You're going to convince a jury.
This is a show trial.
I am I?
The jury's already been handed their
I'm
verdict.
not talking about them.
Really?
The Central
Will it be
Committee have
televised?
invited members of the scientific community to observe
Oh, it's the scientific
Yeah, it's
community.
about the
our
world.
colleagues from Kochatov, from 𝙬𝙗𝙗, from Mininergo. They will be sitting in the crowd listening to every word you say. A jury that
Vienna
only
would
we
have
know
been
is
better,
there.
but no pressure.
And when your testimony
Something.
arrives at the moment of the explosion, that is when our jury will finally hear the truth.
Our jury.
And do what with it?
Insist on reform.
If everyone believes or knows the
Not
truth,
just to the
they will
RBNK, but
force
the
it.
entire industry. They
As
can't
is
function
needed.
without us. If we...
Do you know what happened to Volkov? The man
I'd be
whose
worried
report
that
you
his
found.
apartment is bugged.
They just removed him from his position at the Institute. Sacked for the crime
I'm
of
worried
knowing.
for them about this conversation.
And you think that these scientists, handpicked to witness a show trial, will somehow be stirred into action by me because of some heroic stance I take in defiance of the state?
Yes,
Dream killer.
Why?
because you're Valery Legasov, and you mean something.
His reputation, yeah, they take him seriously.
I'd like to think that if I spoke out, it would be enough. But I know how the world works.
She's so smart.
Actually, she
Yes,
was
she's
a
so
really
smart and so
important
aware.
part.
They will shoot me.
For the whole
Such a great character.
situation.
I mean, a
She
real
did a lot
person,
of work.
I'm guessing.
Yeah,
You
that
are
was a
dying
big part.
anyways.
But I mean, I know
You
they
told
don't.
me
His decisions.
to find out what happened. I spoke to dozens of people.
Yeah, she did the
Every
dirty
word
work,
they
dude.
said.
She figured it out.
I wrote down all of these books. These are the ones who are still alive. These are the ones who are dead. They died rescuing each other, putting out fires, tending to the wounded. They didn't hesitate, they didn't waver. They simply did what had to be done.
So have I.
I mean, he
So have
has. He has sacrificed a lot.
I went willingly to an open reactor.
Yeah.
So I've already given my life.
No,
Isn't that enough?
she went voluntarily.
Then he might as
They
well go
forced
down
him.
doing the right
No, I'm
thing.
sorry, but it is not.
Flat.
The acting is so good. I mean, interrupt them. It's just
flat.
so good.
Just saw it.
I
It
love
is a
their
lot to
scenes
ask
together.
for something to like, I'm not even sure I would
Probably have, they're gonna die
I
anyway.
love their dynamic. I love their acting. I love the writing.
It's now, we're in 5 years.
He doesn't
I
do
love him and Nat's
anything.
character.
He doesn't do anything.
Yeah,
It's
Something
a chance for
about
another
Emily Watson's
explosion.
character.
And even the woman can die.
I just, wow. They're so good. Look at all.
I don't know what happens with those things.
I say that like I would. 5 years feels like a long time. Obviously, I
now
understand his
irradiated.
probably just wants to be done with the whole thing, but he can't. You've already come this far. You've already done
Did they get it closed over?
That must be what he's putting
No, but you know, it's already destroyed.
great.
And fear know how many.
Wait, the trial is it taking place in Chernobyl? That seems.
Mississippi radio.
I gotta look this up on a map too, because I'm not even sure exactly.
Why would it take place in Chernobyl? What's happening? Why are they back there? No way.
The Central Committee of the Communist Party of the Soviet Union and the Presidium of the Supreme Soviet of the USSR has determined that
Okay, that
justice
is,
be
but I don't
carried
feel like
out
I
on behalf
was.
of the people.
In the last
accordance
episode.
with
So they're
the
having the
general
trial in
guidelines,
Chernobyl?
as
guess.
determined by
It
its
seems like
20th,
a horrible
21st, and
idea.
22nd Congresses,
It's
which
Lord,
is a Leninist goal.
she is giving.
It was, is, and will be the only
Lord
immutable goal
Bolton,
of the
right? Is
Soviet
that
state.
Lord Bolton?
The path of Leninist principles shall be consistently and undeviatingly
again.
followed, as it expresses the vital interests of the Soviet people, its hopes and aspirations as we guide the life of the party and state. This session of court is now open. Comrade Judge Milan Kadnikov presiding.
It is just a show trial.
Indictments. Viktor Brokhanov, Anatoly Dyatlov, Nikolai Tzarmin are accused of violating Article 220, Section 2 of the Criminal Code of the Soviet Union, resulting in a nuclear disaster on April 26, 1986.
What's his name?
The state calls witnesses Comrade Khamyuk of the Belarusian Nuclear Institute, Comrade Legasov of the Kurchatov Institute of Atomic Energy, and Comrade Boris Yevdokimovich Sherbina, Deputy Chairman of the Council of Ministers and Head of the Bureau for Fuel and Energy.
Yeah, that's
okay.
It's quite an intro. Alright, let's see how this goes
I
down.
love these scenes too. These
That was dry.
Oh, that true.
Investigative type scenes.
Come on, look at how.
I feel like they're like right for a show like this with mix of writing, acting.
Operator error by those guys.
There haven't been the whole time. I'm
They
just saying.
didn't know about that article that was redacted, right? So that's really cool. That's gotta be good. Is that scale of the reactor?
Have a good model diorama.
I think I
It
like
began
that
with,
show.
as well.
of all things, a safety test.
Yeah, that is pretty ironic.
Why was there need for a safety test at all? Reactor number 4 was not new when the accident occurred. In fact, it went into operation on December 20th, 1983. And 11 days later, on the last day of the year,
Took 3 years to
Plant
do their
Director
safety
Viktor
test.
Brykhanov signed this document, certifying the completion of the construction of the reactor. As a result of finishing the work before the end of the year, Comrade Brykhanov was awarded Hero of Socialist Labor. Comrade Fomin was awarded for valorous labor. Comrade Dyatlov was given an Order of the Red Banner.
And everyone's just showered with awards for everything.
But the work was not finished. And this document was a lie. In order to sign this certificate, all safety tests had to have been successfully completed, and yet one remained.
So many
The nuclear reactor generates heat in the core here. A series of pumps here and here send a constant flow of cooling water through.
I'm glad to have this too, by the way. This model.
Coarse heat
I like
turns the
when
water
they
to
can-
steam,
where I can learn
and the
from the
steam
visuals.
spins the turbine here, and the result is electricity. But what if a power
He's been
plant
studying.
has no power? What if the power feeding the plant itself is disrupted? A blackout, equipment failure, or an attack by a foreign enemy? If there's no power,
You know he's talking about
the
us.
pumps cannot move water through the core, and without water the core overheats, the fuel melts down, in short, a nuclear disaster. The solution? 3 diesel fuel backup generators here. So, problem solved.
Diesel?
No. Brykhanov knew that the problem was not solved at all. The backup generators took approximately 1 minute to reach the speed required to power the pumps and prevent a meltdown. And by that time, it would be too late.
Oh my god.
So we arrived at the safety test. The theory was this: if the facility lost power, the turbine which had been spinning would take some time to slow down and stop. What if you could take the electricity it was still generating and transfer it to the pumps? What if the dying turbine could keep the pumps working long enough to bridge the 60-second gap until the generators came on?
For the diesel generator.
That's crazy that the core can't just power the plant
Any
itself.
questions?
Okay.
That's just crazy that they
No.
need diesel and water.
Very intriguing, though. I mean, he's
Test the theory.
with his presentation here.
The reactor is placed in a reduced power, 700 megawatts, to simulate a blackout condition. Then the turbines are turned off, and as they slowly spin down, their electrical output is measured to see if it's enough to power the pumps. The science is strong, but the test is only as good as the men carrying it out. The first time they tried, they failed.
He hasn't been doing it already, but I'm
The
just saying.
second time they tried,
Really laying it on thick about how
the
this is
third
not
time they tried,
similar.
they failed. The fourth time they tried
It melted down.
was April 26, 1986.
Exploded again.
And you fail like so many
So
times.
he signed off on the tape.
learned a lot about
Dude, the middle is terrible.
I would have thought that a nuclear power plant was self-generating.
was like,
It's so
he was
sad.
accusing the
all the
people
time.
who were
Their
reading the
fault and
test.
they were incompetent.
This is crazy to me.
It's also a problem. Oh, what's she gonna say?
Clearly there were issues. I mean, even
Not the
if
test itself.
the other thing caused
not
the
good enough
explosion,
system.
it sounds like they still would have caused their own meltdown.
Power plant. They fake.
Could have caused their own meltdown.
She's looking at the panel of scientists.
It wasn't their fault directly.
To understand what happened that night, we have to go back 10 hours earlier. April 25th, the day the test was meant to take place. By 2 in the afternoon, the reactor has been lowered by half from its normal output level of 3,200 megawatts to 1,600 megawatts and is stable and ready to be reduced to its final output level for the test, 700 megawatts. But
I feel like I'm in a science
before they
class.
can proceed, there is a phone call. Power grid officials in Kiev say that they cannot afford a further reduction in electricity until after midnight. They are asking for a 10-hour delay. This is the first critical moment, the first link in the chain of disaster. Competent management would have insisted on cancelling the test.
Yeah, I didn't get why they
These 3 men allowed it to proceed.
Why didn't they skip it?
Why was this delay so dangerous? It created 2 problems. One of them is scientific in nature, and the other is very human.
Right. So like I said,
This is
they're
the one
definitely
we
blaming the
consider
humans, but are
first.
they gonna?
At
Yeah.
midnight,
See, she was saying they
there
want
is
to
a
put it all
shift
on these
change.
guys and not admit there's other issues.
Shift change.
Yeah, we are going back and forth.
Whether any of them speak the truth or not.
That's great. I wanted that because we skipped over that at the beginning. We started the reactor.
See this young guy and we're going to be able to bully him during the test anyway.
He's got more hair on his face than on his balls. Is that what's on his lip? Lady Fedorovich, the keyboard says to come to the control room as soon as you can.
Has he already lit?
Came in early. Something about the test.
I almost didn't recognize him because his face was so jacked up from the radiation.
Not experienced. Was he 25, did he say?
This is the one who...
Sasha.
Another test was supposed to run on a turbine rundown. They tried it last year. They couldn't do it on the day shift, so they're giving it to us.
Oh,
God.
To us?
They've never done it before, huh? Oh, so they really don't know what
We don't know what it is. It's fine.
Oh, God.
We take it down to 700 and hold it there. The rest is study at 𝙎𝙪𝙗
I have no idea how to do this.
𝙬𝙗𝙧 is going to be supervising.
I have to do something I've never done before with 𝙬𝙗𝙧 looking over my shoulder.
Oh, don't worry. We'll do it together.
Mistake that they made.
They don't even know. Their checklist isn't even complete.
All because of never done this and they have the sake of the ego and wanting to complete the test.
Yes, this is Sakimov 4. I have the manuals of the rundown.
To the higher ups, you know.
Half the shit is crossed out. We don't know what to do.
Yes, in the program there's instructions of what to do, and then well, there's a lot of things crossed out. What should I do?
A lot of things crossed out.
Or what should I... Are you sure?
Oh, this is just like a huge, huge
Thank you.
Who are these guys just standing there?
He says to follow the crossed out instructions. Why are they crossed out?
Oh my god, they didn't even know what they were doing.
So they need to run the test. So in case something happens and the electricity stops,
1600.
right?
Only success.
Is it too much to ask? You want to know what you're doing? Well,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, they don't. They're lying because they don't want to like disappoint their boss.
Reviewed. We only just found out. There, review it. Or you can just do what I tell you. You can even lose, stupid as you are, can manage that.
No one. This guy. That's not the way you run a team for something that's very, very dangerous.
Shut the fuck up and do your job.
Fuck you!
Up to us.
what they're doing!
JuicePals
From the first episode.
You know,
Up
I
until
was
the very
consider
end.
you could have explained it to them, but he was telling them what to do, but they don't know how to do it.
So bad. Oh, this is so stressful.
They should have a very
so
experienced
mad about
guy
what they're
doing
doing, and some of them even think
I
that
want
it's
you
the
to
wrong
think of
move.
Yuri Gagarin.
It's so sad.
I want you to imagine that he has
feel
been
really
told
bad for
nothing
him.
They
of
live
his
in a
mission
climate
into
where
space
he
until
can't
the
ask
moment that he
questions,
is
he
on the
can't
launch
speak the
pad.
truth.
Yeah, I feel
I
terrible.
want you to
for that
imagine
guy.
that all he has is a list of instructions that he has never seen before, some of which have been crossed out. This is exactly what was happening in the control room of Reactor 4. The night shift had not been trained to perform the experiment, they hadn't even been warned it was happening.
Yeah.
Leonid Tokchanov, the operator responsible for controlling and stabilizing the reactor that night, was all of 25 years old.
Oh, he was the senior
That's
engineer,
And
right?
his total experience on the job,
Yeah, I told you.
4 months.
4 months.
Wow.
This is the human problem created by the delay.
Okay.
But inside the reactor core, in the space between the atoms themselves, something far more dangerous is forming. A poison. The time is 28 past midnight.
She's not gonna lie.
Is it
She's
his turn?
saying it as it is.
I love how she was able to
Is she gonna say what happened?
explain the
I don't
issues
follow
of
him.
how things are run and kind of like
Yeah, she's being dramatic, like going to get a prop or something. That's why she looked at him.
Yeah,
She's
because
like,
I just think about what I'm trying to say.
Do the right thing.
I support him either way.
He's gonna do the right
I
thing.
love him. His character.
But I don't know. How the hell did he do these tapes? Like with the truth, I would assume.
Yeah, it's trying to convey dizziness, uncertainty.
So everything else gets very careful so that she did it so that it wasn't
Cool.
actually
I honestly can't predict
those
what's
in their
going
head
to
for a bit.
happen.
But in reality, she was also filtering out the flaws of the whole system. They get to rebuttal.
I'm pleased to see some of my colleagues here
Oh, he's probably
at
going
the
to use those
Chernobyl
colored
Institute in
slats
Minnesota.
in that glass wall thing.
But you don't need to be a nuclear scientist to understand what happened at Chernobyl. You only need to know this. There are essentially two things that happen inside a nuclear reactor. The reactivity which generates power either goes up or it goes down. That's it. All the operators do is maintain balance.
Because this guy killed himself in the first episode, and
Uranium
was after
fuel.
recording tapes and sticking them in a wall.
As uranium atoms split apart and collide,
For someone
reactivity
presumably
goes
defined.
up. But if you
I have
don't
a feeling
balance the
that
reactivity,
he's
it
not
never
gonna
stops
get
rising.
here.
So,
Balance it.
boron control rods.
On whose fault
They
is it?
reduce reactivity
Or just on the
like brakes on a car.
God, what now?
The three who work
But there's a third factor to consider.
This is so good for me too, by the way. Just side note, I love these doing this with the red
Cool water takes heat out of the system. As it does, it turns to steam, or what we call a
this
void.
kind of dumbing down
In an
for me.
RBMK reactor of the type used at Chernobyl, there's something called a positive void coefficient. What does that mean?
What does that mean?
It means
We've heard that before.
that the more steam present within the system, the higher the reactivity, which means more heat, which means more steam, which means it would appear we have a vicious cycle on our hands.
Yeah.
And we would, were it not for this.
Oh, you dropped it. It's okay. It's okay.
So natural. Such an actual, just natural human thing to happen.
We would, were
I
it
didn't
not
let that in.
What,
for
everyone's like
this,
disappointed that he
the
dropped
negative
it.
temperature coefficient. When nuclear fuel gets hotter, it gets less reactive. So, fuel increases reactivity. Control rods and water reduce it. Steam increases it. The rise in temperature reduces it. This is the invisible dance that powers entire cities without smoke or flame. And it is beautiful when things are normal.
Excellent explanation.
As uranium splits apart to release energy, it breaks down into a new element, xenon. Xenon reduces reactivity. This is the poison Comrade Homu mentioned. When the core is running at full power, it burns the xenon away before it can cause a problem. But because of the delay, Chernobyl Reactor 4 has been held at half power for 10 hours. The xenon did not burn away.
It built up, poisoning the core.
Oh, the poisoning she
We're
was
starting to lose
yeah.
balance.
Yeah.
At 28 minutes past midnight,
Is he gonna cough up?
the reactor is now primed to slow down.
Just like the gas up.
And yet, in less than an hour, it will explode. If you can't understand how a stalled nuclear reactor could lead to an explosion, I don't blame you. After all, you don't work in the control room of a nuclear power plant. But as it turned out, the men who didn't understand it either.
Right. Right. Oh, we're back with them. This is so stressful.
I think
when you don't know how it works.
Take it down.
Yeah.
Good. Like that.
Should have finished by now.
We're following protocol for reduction rate.
You procrastinating.
That guy's...
10 other men in this car would have done it already.
Oh, yeah, you get over there and do it then.
Oh my god.
Wow. Nobody's questioning it. There's only 4
I mean, being supportive like that, you know.
Kirschenbaum, come get me when these old women are ready.
Yes, Comrade Dyatlov.
Oh, it's leaving.
So he walks away.
Yes, he's supposed to be in charge of watching it.
And he's supposed to give them instructions because nobody's ever done it before.
Someone knows what he's doing. Not like the pressure that's on them.
Okay, very slow now. Let's ease it down to 700. Whoa, slow.
It's too fast.
I don't move any rods there.
It's moving without him.
Like, you know what's happening, and it's still so
Oh,
stressful.
It's not 700.
How did it go from 7?
Plummeting.
Touching it.
It's out of their control now.
Can they increase it? Shouldn't they be increasing it?
This is like what happened with 𝙁𝙗.
Yeah, like, it's still like,
Call somebody.
you want them.
Funny part is that is one of the most...
Hurry.
Hello, 911, we're having a problem.
You need to do something. He's not even supervising. He's just out here, I'm smoking.
You did everything right. I think that maybe the core was poisoned.
Well, if you thought the core was poisoned, then you didn't do everything right because you're choking my reactor.
The first episode picked up, right?
We turned it off.
Great, that's helpful.
Get more control.
Do it, go.
Right, switch off local automatic control. Go to global.
LAC disabled, global control activated.
Oh my gosh,
What did you do? I did what you said. I switched. I did it!
it's gonna be 0.
They literally did what you told them to do.
Stole the reactor.
Do they know?
Did you get this job?
At this point?
You're gonna tell me that
You don't know what you're doing either, Diallo.
I apologize for this unsatisfactory
Yeah,
result.
yeah, what? How can you fix it?
Follow the instructions.
Everyone's so worried about getting in trouble and maintaining a community.
We have to shut all the way down. No. We could be in a Zen pit. We have to shut down with 24 hours.
No, we're doing the test tonight.
Yes.
Raise power to 700.
We can't raise the power from here.
Don't talk to me about rules.
We fall from 80%.
No, we fell from 50% power. The rules don't say 50. There is no rule.
Comrade Dyatlov, I apologize, but what you're saying makes no sense.
No.
I won't do
Is
it.
this
It
the
isn't safe.
conversation that actually happened? I guess we.
He's gonna do it.
He's trying to do the right
I
thing.
don't know if we know this, but this.
Safety first. Always.
Oh, yeah, look at him. See,
I've
stuff.
been
He's
saying
like,
that for
I mean,
25
yeah, of
years.
course.
That's how long I've done this job. 25
My middle name
years.
is Safety. Dyatlov Safety.
Even people that
Doesn't
don't
matter.
25 years can still be moral. This is so painful.
You with your mother's tit early on your mouth.
Wow.
See, if I say it's safe, it's safe, and if the two of you disagree, then you don't have to work here, and you won't. But not just here, you won't work at Kursk or Ignalina
The
or
ego on
anywhere,
this
or
guy.
Voronezh. You won't work anywhere ever again. I'll see to it. I think you know I will see to it.
Sick.
Raise the power.
Yeah, this guy's responsible for it. Walk
This guy's
away.
completely to blame.
Record your command.
Yeah.
Raise the power.
Throwing things down.
Wow.
Don't do it.
He knows it's gonna melt down.
Should be recording that command.
And I mean, again, hindsight, 2020, yeah, it's like, that really is your fear at that point, or the worst thing that can happen. Even though he knows theoretically what could happen. Not really. The fear that you'll never work again,
I wasn't even there.
orders.
How about that?
What?
Liar.
I wasn't in the room when they raised the power.
You were the gas off. You are a witness, not a prosecutor. I will ask the questions here.
If you weren't there,
If you weren't in the room, then what were you?
he's asking the same question.
I will ask
The toilet.
sir.
Sure you were.
The toilet.
Perfect place for an asshole.
I'm not coming. You interviewed everyone who was in the control room that night. They all told the same story. I knew what Dyatlov ordered was wrong. That if I didn't do what he said, I would be fired. Leonid Toptinov. One day before he died. No, Comrade Dyatlov, you were in the room. He wanted them to raise the power. This is a fact.
So he thought what? But they were all they're all dead. They thought they were all dead, so there was somebody to sit there and contradict them or something. Yes.
That guy.
Pause. It's now recess. 30 minutes.
Wow.
It's like so tense. I just like.
The military guy called him out.
Like what they want me to say.
Because the bureaucracy is so thick, right? I just assumed everybody would have been like, yeah.
Mickey Mouse there.
The state is responsible, but it's.
I mean, I'm sure that they villainized his
I can't believe
Officially licensed Disney.
more than what he actually was, but he's a fucking asshole.
Because the state kept it from wrong.
Without specifically saying
But he kind of did when he. And he definitely tells the truth.
You know anything about this town?
Because he definitely tells the truth. Because he dies alone in his apartment when he's supposed to be.
It was mostly Jews and
Well, he could
Poles.
have died of guilt too.
The Jews were killing pilgrims and stoning forced to Poles out.
But he also
Then the Nazis came and killed whoever was left. After the war, people came to live here anyway. They knew the ground under their feet was soaked in blood, but they didn't care. Dead Jews, dead Poles. But not them. No one ever thinks it's going to happen to them.
Very true.
And here we are.
Very true.
That's true. That's why history repeats itself.
Oh
Popped
no.
up a lot, yeah.
Cancer.
yeah, I figured.
Well, it's time.
Not much.
Maybe a year.
Oh my.
They call it they call it a long illness. It doesn't seem very long to me. I know you told me and I believed you. But time passed and I thought it wouldn't happen to me.
Yeah. I think you
I
would.
wasted it. I wasted it all for nothing. For nothing. Do you remember that morning when I first called you? How unconcerned I was. I don't believe much that comes out of the Kremlin, but when they told me they were putting me in charge of the cleanup, and they said it wasn't serious, I believed them. You know why? Because they put you in charge.
So you thought that, like you say,
I'm an inconsequential man, Valeria. That's all I've ever been. I hoped that one day I would matter, but I didn't.
You do better. You fixed it.
I just stood next to people who did.
Oh my God, this made me cry. That's really good.
Like me. Any one of them could have done what I did.
Writing and the acting.
You. Everything we asked for. Everything we needed.
Yeah, he did a good job. He got it
Men,
eventually.
material,
He got it.
lunar rovers.
Took him a bit. He's not a
Who else could have
scientist,
done
though.
these things?
Seriously.
He did, yeah.
They heard me, but they listened to you.
And to Gorbachev's
Yeah.
defense,
Of
you know,
all the
from what they showed in
ministers
that one episode, he
and
said,
all the
you have whatever you need.
deputies,
I know it's about
entire
taking face,
congregation of obedient fools.
He's the only one who did anything.
They mistakenly sent the one good man.
Yeah.
God's sakes, Christ.
Exactly.
You were the one who mattered most.
Wow.
That's very sweet. He did
did a good
give
job.
some rousing speeches and
did
encourage
what he
some
could.
men to
See again
make
those shots
sacrifices
like
when it
that.
was needed.
Seeing the little caterpillar just
He did do the right thing.
That's one of those, I feel like, you know, I'm sure it's in the script, but if it's not, just whoever made the decision, it's a great shot. Yeah, it's
Even in like first episode, so I remember. Yeah.
You did good.
You matter.
Kind of crazy looking butterfly Ragnar turned into.
Try to understand what's going on.
Mothra.
Actually, man, every scene is so good.
Take a break right as we're about to get into it. I need to
I actually not keep it so compelling all the way to the end, but damn, they were in a sprint and a marathon at the same time and didn't fail at either.
Looking your peers in the face.
push the button. Then it exploded.
Don't let them do that.
I wonder if that chat with Boris is going to convince him.
The time is 38 past midnight. The reactor is nearly shut down. The operators of Reactor 4 are locked on a path that leads directly to disaster. There's no way to turn back. They do not yet know it, but the die is cast.
That's what I thought. Like they're
at 30 megawatts.
They can't fix it. At
Xenon
this
is
point.
still being created, but none of it is burning away.
So it's gonna build up.
The reactor is drowning in poison.
That's why it's
To make matters worse, the reactor isn't hot enough to produce sufficient steam.
Yep.
The only way to safely raise power from this state is to do it very, very slowly over the course of 24 hours. The Aklov wants it
Just
done
like
now.
he suggested.
Akimov and Toptonov have only
The
one
guy in the
course
last
of
time in
action.
the room, I can't remember his name. Yeah.
They begin pulling control rods out. Dozens at a time, halfway out, 3/4 of the way out. Still, the power does not budge. So they begin pulling them all the way out.
Yeah.
There were 211 control rods in Reactor 4.
Okay.
Akimov and Toptonov completely withdrew 205. Remember, control rods are the brakes on this car. Of 211 rods,
So many they took out.
only 6 now remain in the reactor.
Holy cow.
As for the fuel, it's gone cold, so the negative temperature coefficient is no longer weighing down the reactivity. But even still, the xenon poisoning is so strong, the best they can do is raise the power to 200 megawatts. The control rods are out. The emergency system has been disconnected. The only thing keeping the reactor in check is water and xenon. It's 1 in the morning. The test is minutes away.
And they're still going through with the test, even though all this shit is test that was supposed to be completed 3 years prior.
Yeah.
Oh my
So
goodness.
from this point they are already screwed.
I think I get those.
Do they know yet that it's too late?
The only was what Akim said, like to run 24 hours.
I'm sorry. This is all we can get. It's 200 megawatts. Pulled almost everything out.
That's all we have, that's all we have.
Look, but the test requires 700.
𝙬, let's get ready. Switch on pump 4.
Oh,
200? It's not
Enough
600.
steam as it is. The turbine is going too slow for the test to deliver any valid results. And if we add more water, there will be even
I
less.
said it's enough. I know what I'm doing. 𝙬.
No, you
He
don't.
doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
No, you don't.
You know what I mean?
He knew he was doing this test with
That guy's
completed already,
responsible.
right?
That he's directly responsible.
Main pump 4 connected.
Man,
Mission 1 head up to. The pipes are going to be jumping.
Never mind him. Kirstenbaum.
Oh my gosh.
This dude is just worse.
The steam in the separator drum is too low. 5 atmospheres.
All right, let's all help him. Get it up as best you can.
Regardless, these are the decisions that he made.
We should stop.
Turn that fucking thing off.
Yeah.
Yeah, 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
This guy is
They may as well have had 15 days.
Insane.
The problem they were facing was not solvable. The power was too low, the water was too high. The test was already ruined. The results would have been useless. But the Aklov didn't care. All he wanted to do was report a completed test.
Right, right.
Does he even care now?
1:22 a.m.
Oh my God,
Less than
there's
2
goldfish
minutes
in a
remain.
Oh, this aquarium needs to be cleaned.
Yuvchenko The mechanical engineer is in his office.
Oh, this guy. Oh, I remember him.
𝙬𝙗𝙗, reactor section foreman, is in the refueling hall, high above the 1,000-ton steel reactor cover.
Oh, he must be dead. For sure.
𝙬𝙗𝙗, circulation operators are in the pump room. None of them have been told about the test.
God.
None of them know what is about to happen.
Jesus.
Great.
At 1:22 and 30 seconds, Dr. Nog sees a report from the reactor's SCADA computer system. Based on the absence of sufficient control rods, the computer is recommending that the reactor be shut down.
Just like that guy wanted to do.
I guess not too late.
I know more
It
than the
could be shut
computer.
down. That's a good point. But
Well, of course it's saying that. It doesn't know we're running a test.
I feel like everyone should know this.
All right, comrades. Another few minutes.
Negligence here is
Oh yeah,
staggering.
it will be all over in a few minutes.
Did everything right.
No, you didn't.
Telegraph on.
But you did what you were told.
Closing number 8 throttle valve.
You didn't do everything right.
Generator at the beginning ramped up.
It's really hard.
1:23 and 4 seconds.
I like how he keeps doing the
Make that
time
Every
too.
decision they have pulled
Title
this
of the
reactor
first
back like a
episode.
slingshot,
But-
further than anyone has ever pulled. Now the test
It would have been
begins.
the right decision to just
The pumps
go
are
against
shut
what your
down.
boss
That's
said.
absolute
they've let
worst
go.
moment
Just shut
for
it
them
down
to do a
anyway.
test, right?
This is so hard to hear.
The pumps stop moving water through the reactor. Uranium fuel is now unchecked by fresh coolant, unchecked by control rods. The balance immediately swings in the opposite direction. In less than a second, reactivity increases. Inside the core, the remaining water is quickly converting to steam. A void is being created. There is no fresh water to replace it. Steam increases reactivity, increases heat, increases steam, increases reactivity. The remaining xenon decays away. The power is rising.
It's very simple and effective.
There's nothing left to stop.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. It's a great visual.
1:23
Oh, it's going up.
and 35.
It's going so fast.
Yeah.
So fast.
We have a power surge, Sasha.
So they're going to show the explosion again?
It's too
I only
late.
showed the accident.
What did you do? You did it.
Right,
Hold the
14
and
seconds.
you can blame it on them.
When the entire time. The guy playing 𝙬𝙚 was doing a really good job of playing a complete and total asshole.
Is he gonna tell the truth?
In every control room of every nuclear reactor in the world, there is a button with one single purpose. Scram will instantly shut down the reaction. In Soviet reactors, that button is called AZ5.
This is the
You press AZ5, all of the control rods insert at once,
I'm gonna call her
and
Dr.
the
K
reaction
because
is
I still can't pronounce her name.
stopped. Dead.
This is the part where she was perking up, like,
I'm
what's
glad
he
you
gonna say?
explained that even more. That button. It all makes sense now after hearing about the rods to me. Brakes.
What are you waiting for, Lucasso?
Tell the truth.
Lies.
Comrade Yatlov will not be warned again.
He's actually defending him.
Lucaso's already given it away. He said before.
Comrade
There was
Yatlov.
no way to avoid what was coming. He knows something.
Comrade
She
Yatlov.
knows something. Yeah, I know what you are,
There's no out of it, dude.
but you're a liar.
We've heard enough for today.
Oh no.
The defendants will be remanded in
defending him,
custody.
right?
Court will.
I haven't finished.
No, yeah,
Yeah, he's just about to say the most important
No
part.
evidence to give.
It's not necessary. Your testimony is concluded.
Really?
Your Honor.
Oh,
Now
they cut him
adjourned.
off. He's not
We will resume tomorrow. Finish.
Yes, yes, yes.
Wow. Comrade Sabina.
Is he here? Oh,
See how it
Finish.
yeah, let him finish.
That's a man who doesn't care anymore. He's
Yeah,
dead.
chills.
Wow.
Let him finish.
Doing him a solid, but
Good
it's
for
like
you.
it's like
Anymore for him.
his position, obviously.
Say the right thing, man. Do it. More people freaking
Go
He
for it.
knows he's gonna tell the truth,
Speak
right?
up.
So he'll be
Come on.
That's what they need. Or is
so they can keep others safe.
Yatlov broke every rule we have. He pushed a reactor to the brink of destruction. He did these things believing there was a failsafe. AZ5,
Right.
a simple button to shut it all down, but in the circumstances he created, there wasn't. The shutdown system had a fatal flaw.
Diallo's surprised.
Is he just learning this?
He's like, wait a minute.
𝙎𝙪𝙗 engages AZ5.
What's he saying?
Try to do the right thing.
The fully withdrawn control rods begin moving back into the reactor. These rods are made of boron, which reduces reactivity, but not the tips.
Boron.
Boron's what they dump
The
in
tips
sand.
are made of
For the fire.
graphite, which accelerates reactivity.
He's saying
Why?
Yeah, why?
Yeah. Because it does.
Why? Why does
You
it
know,
accelerate it, or why
I
were the
don't
tips?
know.
Why do the tips have graphite on them?
For the same reason, our reactors do not have containment buildings around them, like those in the West. For the same reason, we don't use properly enriched fuel in our cores. For the same reason, we are the only nation that builds water-cooled, graphite-moderated reactors with a positive void coefficient.
Or they don't care.
It's cheaper.
My chef job.
It's less safe.
Oh my god.
Oh, this is on.
Here comes
The
the
first
murmuring.
part of the rods that enter the core
Throughout the
I
room.
love
are
that
the
he's speaking
graphite
up,
tips,
man. I love it.
and when they do, the reaction in the core, which had been rising, skyrockets. Every last molecule of liquid water instantly converts to steam, which expands and ruptures a series of fuel rod channels. The control rods in those channels can move no further. The graphite tips are fixed in position, endlessly accelerating the reaction. Chernobyl Reactor 4 is now a nuclear bomb. 12342.
Oh god, we're gonna see these guys
Kovachenko
get
looks
messed
down
up.
on the enormous steel lid of the reactor and sees the impossible. The control rod and fuel channel caps, which each weigh 350 kilograms, are jumping up and down. He runs to warn the control room, but there's nothing he can do to stop what is coming. 123 and 44 seconds. The steam blows your fuel channel apart. We do not know how high the power went. We only know the final reading.
Feels like the first time again.
Reactor 4, designed to operate at 3,200 megawatts, went beyond 33,000.
Whoa.
Goosebumps. He's stunned. The temperature.
Pressure inside the core can no longer be held back. At long last we have arrived. 123.45, explosion. The instant the lid is thrown off the reactor, oxygen rushes in. It combines with hydrogen and superheated graphite. The chain of disaster is now complete.
They've done visually with things. Full props to make up. Really devastating.
It's I do love the explanation of this that we're now seeing what this looked like up close. Because we only saw it way at a distance. Graphite, millions of light.
Very well done.
And you know he knows
So everything
exactly
that
what
one did there
happened.
was the truth. He really is just
Style.
a terrible person. Yeah. SarahReacts.
So arrogant, he can't admit he made mistakes.
These poor people.
No one in the room that night knew the shutdown button could act as a detonator.
Why wouldn't they tell them?
They didn't know
Given
it
that information.
because it was kept from them.
Yes, of your contradicting your own testimony in Vienna.
Testimony in Vienna was a lie.
Yeah.
A lie to the world. Not the only one who kept his secrets. There are many. We're following orders
Don't.
from the KGB,
Or it's just like,
from
hey,
the
wait a
Central
minute.
Committee. And right now there are 16 reactors in the Soviet Union with the same fatal flaw. 3 of them are still running, less than 20 kilometers away at Chernobyl.
Listen, Nagassov, if you mean to suggest the Soviet state is somehow
Was this, like,
responsible for what
live?
happened, then I must
He
warn
does
you, you're
suggest
treading
that.
on dangerous ground.
I've already trod on dangerous ground. We're on dangerous ground right now.
Right,
Because of
he
our
came back to
secrets and
Chernobyl.
our lies. They're practically what define us.
This is
Yeah.
so
When the
much
truth offends me,
Yeah.
we lie and lie until we can no longer remember it is even there, but it is still there.
Yes.
Real
testimony. Good job, dude.
Every lie we tell incurs a debt to the truth.
She's so proud of
Sooner or later, that debt is paid. That is how an RBMK reactor core explodes. Lies.
It's unbelievable. I mean, I guess I shouldn't be surprised.
Did it.
But she's like, yes.
If this was American movie, should be now.
All of this was because they were lying about
Nobody's gonna support him in this. Yeah, he's like.
Look, I feel like it's only been 15 minutes.
I'm surprised he makes it back to his house.
He does end up getting back to his apartment.
They're bringing him to
Not somebody else.
No, he didn't want to give them the
Something satisfaction.
right.
He did it. He spoke to power.
He must think he's about to be executed right then and there. I mean, I would think that.
Which honestly just makes it even more heartbreaking when you think about
It's scary. It's just
Exactly the place you want to be. Far away from earshot of anything.
Because now they're gonna, well, which one do we believe?
They put him in a freaking torture room.
The drain in the middle of the floor for easy cleanup.
It's kind of smoke to kill him.
I think that's tile, but yeah, it's very like
So
disorienting.
I told you he was actually defending him because Dyatlov.
Because it just makes you wonder how many other governments.
Yeah, like Dyatlov is his fault, like because he's an escort, because he didn't follow the rules, because he was so
Okay, so I just kind of mentioned the Mickey Mouse earlier,
and
but I
like
feel like
he's
there's
the big
some symbolism I'm supposed to be
yeah.
reading.
I saw it earlier.
He was all the time thinking that AFSFI would just stop the reaction.
There he is, for KGB.
What does this guy want?
Yeah, for sure he did.
No, the others.
Valery Alexeyevich Legasov.
No, about the button.
Stress headache.
Son of Alexei Legasov.
A certificate you were going to give me for being a great
You know your mother
citizen?
did that? Yes. As a student, you had a leadership position in Komsomol, Communist Youth, correct? You already answer the question.
I'm glad he doesn't.
Yes.
What is
So they
this?
can't kill them.
At the Kshatriya Institute, you were the Communist Party secretary. In that position, you limited the promotion of Jewish scientists.
Lovely.
Really?
He's like, oh.
Yes. To curry favor with Kremlin officials.
He's scared. Like all these people are scared.
I can do anything I want.
They're just scared to do the right thing.
But what I want the most is for you to know that I know. You are not brave. You are not heroic.
Don't let him.
That is not
You're just a dying man who forgot himself. I know I am. I know what I've done. In a just world, I would be shot for my lies, but not for this, not for the truth.
Exactly.
Scientist. And your idiot obsession with reasons. When the bullet hits your skull, what will it matter? Why?
Does matter.
It will matter if he stood
So
up
make
for
sure
the
this
right
doesn't happen
cause
again.
to save millions of other lives. It will matter. And if he died, it matters for the rest of the world.
Yeah, but see, you make yourself too visible
Yeah,
now.
he's like speaking with the voice of the communist.
Your testimony today will not be accepted by the state. It will not be
They really
disseminated
should have
in the
spoken up
press.
in Vienna. They did.
Never happened.
He already knew that.
They wanted to convince
Wow.
their
He was
journey.
telling the truth.
You will live, however long you have. But not as a scientist. Not anymore. You keep your title and your office. No duties, no authority, no friends. No one will talk to you. No one will listen.
This country either.
Really wasn't out.
Probably just
Other
keep
men.
a watch on him and never let him leave.
Lesser men will receive credit for the things you have done.
Go. Well, if you
Why?
Your
Has he told the
legacy is their
truth?
legacy. You will live long enough to see that.
16 other reactors blowing up in the exact same way.
Basically just killing him.
What role did Chernobyl play in this?
just so that
Basically,
you don't
right?
seem
He didn't know what I was
whatever.
going to
Like,
say.
admit it. Be like, we love our country so much.
Who wrote it?
We want to protect
𝙎𝙪𝙗𝙨.
everybody and make it a much safer place because we are the best country.
She
But
didn't know either.
don't understand. So stupid.
After all that you've sent down today,
Really? She didn't
it
know
would
whether he was
be
gonna.
curious if you chose this moment to lie.
Might as well not bring it.
Think about if your experience with no lie when he is one.
Smart.
I'm still impressed with his balls, though. I
You will
gotta
not
say.
need to communicate with either one of them ever again. You will not communicate with anyone about Chernobyl ever again. You will remain so immaterial to the world around you that when you finally do die, it will be exceedingly hard to know that you ever lived at all.
Brutal.
Lovely.
How can they do that?
Which again, I don't remember. Was this based on a book? I can't recall if we already talked about this or not.
Why worry about something that isn't going to happen?
Declassified information, or
Why worry about something that isn't going to happen?
How can you say that after what's happened here?
right? Why worry about something that's gonna happen?
Yeah.
Right.
Right. It's like
What about the doctors do come in like the boogeyman?
The whole reason they're here.
Truth matters. It's not just about spinning whatever you want.
It's like talking to the
But naturally,
KGB.
this is like the real names and the real people who are like.
It's like Ron and Hermione watching Harry.
Like, for sure there were people in the but I'm not sure if this is like the real names of people and if they're like 2 or 5 or 10 or however, it's like, you know,
Kidding aside, like the gravity of all of this, and then to know that your days are just so normal anyway, that you gave your life, literally,
So sad.
try and
the point is that
establish what
with all
happened,
the documentation,
fix what happened, and then prevent what's going to happen again. And after all of that, the power to be still, just choosing to feign ignorance.
from this point.
To be a scientist is to be naive.
This is a horror.
We are so focused on our search for truth, we fail to consider how few actually want us to find it. But it
I like
is
that we're.
But imagine the respect they have for him,
whether we see it or not.
knowing what
whether we
he's
choose to or
sacrificed.
not.
Because now we have.
Truth doesn't care about our needs or wants. It doesn't care about our governments, our ideologies, our religions. It will lie in wait for all time. And this, at last, is the gift of Chernobyl. Where I once would fear the cost of truth, now I only ask,
Is this?
What
Is
is
this
the
tape?
price of the
what is the cost of lies?
Yeah, they begin like this.
Great way to
It was pretty into
pull it back.
Also, that's
to
like
the
a
beginning.
Took his own life.
Exactly
Yeah.
2 years after
Year, 2 years, sorry, actually, 2 years.
Real footage. This is the
So
real
he
footage
is
of
real.
Nancy on YouTube. The audio tapes of his memoir circulated among the Soviet scientific community. His suicide made it impossible for them to make. He made himself a martyr. It was so sad that he had to. Soviet officials finally acknowledged the design flaws only after he killed himself. He really had to kill himself to do anything. It's crazy. The reactors were retrofitted to prevent an accident.
Like 3 or 4 years later.
Start.
Years.
I don't understand. It was a real tragedy.
That stuff was aided by
He was
dozens
aided by dozens of scientists that worked tirelessly alongside him at Chernobyl.
And God, everybody from the miners to those that went up there to get the graphite, all these just brave, the firefighters, just everybody. Yeah.
The character of Chronic.
We just gonna say that
Oh, that's so
So
Yeah.
a personification
So
of
like the
all of
woman
the other
was.
She was a
scientists.
composite character.
Boris died on August 2nd, 1990. 4 years and 4 months after. 5 years. Skarsgård kind of looks a little bit like him.
For the most part,
Pretty good casting on these guys.
They were all sent to the lab.
Just 10 years.
As hard as I tried.
That's the guy.
good casting. Looks just like him.
Nuclear power plant.
get hired on your
resume.
Walking into your new power plant.
Just immediately.
Yeah, well, died from radiation. But Larry's body was never recovered permanently into the reactor floor. Firefighters living still remains in the basement of the Fiat hospital. It's dangerously radioactive to this day.
582.
That makes sense, I guess.
Following the death of her husband and daughter, Linda suffered multiple strokes, in which she would never be able to bear a child. That was a real
Oh my
story.
god, is there a happy outcome in any of
I thought
this?
that might have been fictionalized. It wasn't. Oh my god, that's heartbreaking. They were wrong. She bore a child.
Oh, look at that. Okay. Right. Shining spot. This devastation.
None survived. So that really happened.
Nuclear ash.
It is now known as submarine death.
Wow, I am learning so much.
Yeah, this is what 400 miners working around the clock for 1 month to prevent a total nuclear meltdown. At least it's estimated that 300 have died before the region. Widely reported that the 3 divers who trained in those tanks died of
I mean, I kind of figured that.
actions. Yeah,
And that was, you know,
Wait, they survived? They survived after hospitalization.
Because those suits worked.
And 2 are still alive today. Crazy. Despite widespread accounts of sickness and death as a result of radiation, so the government kept no official records. Of course they do. Creative development
because I was curious about the sense of that. That's interesting.
Kind of seems like it.
That's a really interesting statement, actually. I hadn't heard that. Let's run those safety tests. According to the
That's still not very long.
I see a video on how that was going.
Goes to show how that wind carried that radiation.
I remember
That's ridiculous.
Good job, because that happens on the bridge.
Wow, so the reason we never checked in with those guys is
They're not counting it in until it dies later.
Well, rest in peace, everyone that suffers from the ignorance and
Holy shit.
Okay, so that was Chernobyl. What do you think?
You know, honestly, that's sort of the first thing I would say.